What is going on, everybody? My name is Northy and we are back again for the preview, but it's late. I managed to do it late again, the round 16 preview, so it's not really a preview, but I'm going to call it one anyways because we're too far into the week now. But Friday nights are usually when I like to upload them, so when I find out that there's a Thursday night game, it kind of throws me out a little bit, but this is the round 16 preview for the channel. And hopefully it's a good one. I'm praying that things go well because I didn't really make any changes even though I was supposed to. Say, for example, this one, nothing has changed. Some of them are fine with, like Clayton Oliver, probably Hugh McCluggage could play well, and Taron Thomas has been alright. I'm not always confident having the same legend in every week, but I like to switch them out a bit, and I wanted Patrick Cripps out this week after the way he played last week, but looks like I've got to trust the process with him because I've forgotten to change him out, and he's locked in for the next week. We came 472nd with this squad last week, so not too much hope in keeping that top 100 spot, but there's some that I am excited for. That star powers is really not too much to look at there, but we go to top team. I'm excited for this top team because Toot Miller had a awesome game against Richmond, played one of his best games of the season, 35 plus disposals, 7 tackles, 7 marks, and a lot of involvement in the game. I think it was the highest performing player for the game. Probably won't be the highest performing player for the week. If he is, that's awesome. But Toot Miller did great. Max Gawn, I'm hoping will do well. Realistically, this is a good squad. If Rory Laird can have a game like last week, and same with Bontempelli, we should be able to see something big here. But the awesome start from Toot Miller has made this top 4 a little bit less, disheartening because, I mean, he's just really helped me out. I don't know what I was going to switch him up for, but I definitely was going to switch him up. I wanted to make a change. Any of these players could probably still do well, but, I mean, he definitely had more disposals and had two more tackles and 1 more mark. So he's going over the 100 game points this week. Good stuff. We always need 100 plus point performances, especially in top 4, because that's when you start hitting at top 10 area. 413 was the high, so getting 100 plus point performances every single week is what we are aiming for. Bontempelli had 100 last week, so yeah, more from him, more of that. Gets us places. Get us a lot of places. Max Gawn, I really need you to hit that 100, if not close to 100. You averaged 94, so we technically should be seeing a lot from you. But you averaged the same amount of hit outs. It was just less disposals and less marks. That kind of put him below his season average. I'm just praying that things go well. Rory Laird, though, he was playing his pretty average game, playing his pretty normal game. Just little marks, and I don't think many tackles, but he played all right. I just need these guys to get over the 100 mark, because, I mean, I've had Whitfield in at times, and he was the only backman over 100, so it's going to be really interesting to see which backman is the one who steps up this week. However, my top 18 is off to a pretty decent start as well. Even though it's not the team I really wanted, I would have liked to make a few changes. Shea Bolton had a better game than last week, but still a pretty quiet one compared to what he usually does. He's averaging about 70 points per game. That's his season average so far. And if I quickly go over and check his stats from the game last night against Gold Coast, you will be able to see that he had almost a 20 possession game. He kicked a goal, had 2 marks and a tackle. So he got about 9 points from marks and tackles. He got about 38 points from disposals, and a goal gives him an extra 6. So he's a bit below his season average, but it is what you expect from these forwards. It's just the rest of them. It's interesting to see who will step up. Very, very interesting to see. Marcus Bontempelli, Jack Siebel's usually reliable. He wasn't last week. But Carl Langford has been stepping up this half of the season, and that's what's been putting me up so high on the leaderboards, as you know. Last week I came 14th. I was so close to a prize card. So let's hope that that changes. Thankfully, during the week, I managed to change up from Max Gawn to Brodie Grundy. He's a lot more of a reliable, high-scoring player. And same with Tom Mitchell. I think I switched him out for Jared. I think I switched him in with Jared Lyons. So he's out. Tom Mitchell's in. Let's hope that he has a big performance. Parrish, he's been all right. He's having a Brownlow medal contender season, so I like to have him in there. Steele has been really good for me as well. Jack Lukosius, I think 2 out of 3 weeks that I've trusted him to be in the lineup, he's delivered, and he did last night against the Richmond Tigers. Got a pretty big point game, definitely over a season average. If I quickly go and check He had 24 disposals, 10 marks, which is awesome compared to his 3 last week. So that's 30 points right there in marks. Then you add his 24 disposals, which gives him 48 plus 30. That's 78. Didn't kick any goals, so a 78-point performance for a guy who averages 66. That is a huge payoff. Very, very good payoff. Obviously, it puts him a little bit below where everyone else averaged, but at the same time, it's good to have some faith in players, and that's what Jack Lukosius has done for me. I may change him up eventually, but I can already tell you right now, he was better than Jaden Short, who was better than him last week. If we look here, Jaden Short was there. And there was Jack Lukosius. A lot of better players than him last week. So knowing that he did better than Jaden Short, at least this time, that's a good feeling, knowing they're playing up to their potential. As you can see, he's the only one as well that isn't in the top 6 in terms of consistent rankings. So, you know what? I'm really happy that I picked Lukosius. Well, I mean, got left with Lukosius this time around, because I trust a lot of this back line. Lucky Whitfield has been doing awesome. Roy Laird always does really well. And the forward line's always a bit shaky. But Franklin kicked 4 last week. Shea had a decent game, like a little bit below his average, but good enough that I think if everyone else plays up to their standard or how they played last week, we could see a top 10 finish. That first game did not put me down at all. And you know what? Considering we made, I think, only positive changes, I could only assume that this team could and has a decent shot at a top 10 finish. Let's hope I'm correct there. I'm hoping that this team makes a top 10, because if they don't, I don't know what to tell you. That Shea Bolton price card is going to be the only one I get that's worth anything. And it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. Now for tips. Obviously, I could not do my tips. You can see right here, this is for round 17. This is not for this round. And I didn't put my tips in for round 16, so they won't show up here. So I will quickly go to the AFL website and show you guys the players who are playing. So as you can see right here, not GWS, Gold Coast managed to somehow knock off the back-to-back premiers by 10 points. I don't know where that puts Richmond for the season, whether you cross them off. I'd say it does. I think I've really given them a lot of leniency, but a loss to Gold Coast, you just can't say that team is going to win a premiership. I don't think they're going to do the three-peat. Geelong versus Essendon. I want Essendon to pull out a big game. They've impressed a lot of people this season, so if they can manage to pull this game off against Geelong, I would be really happy, but I'm going to say that Geelong are going to win this one. But we go down to the Saturday games. Melbourne versus GWS. I can't stand GWS. They lost to Hawthorn. They drew against us when they should have lost against us. There's just so much I don't like it. So Melbourne, please smash them. I need you to smash them. But we go over to Adelaide versus Brisbane. I think Brisbane are going to take this one. Brisbane are very, very solid. Obviously not at Adelaide Oval this time. All of them are pretty much at Victoria. Actually, maybe not. Maybe they actually are keeping it at South Australia. I'm not too sure. I thought it was almost an all-Victoria weekend. Well, looks like that one's at Adelaide Oval. So, it's a home game for Adelaide. We'll see what happens, though. I am expecting a Brisbane win. However, Brisbane, I think, are still levels over Adelaide, even though Adelaide had one bad season and still have managed to come out pretty solid so far this season. I'd say they definitely impressed a lot of people. Did better than a lot of people expected them to do, because, I mean, yeah, Adelaide didn't win a game till like really late last year, so glad to see Adelaide doing well, but I think Brisbane's taken this one. Fremantle versus Carlton. I am going to say that Fremantle take this one. I want to say Fremantle take this one. Actually, you know what? I backtrack on that. I'm going to say Carlton. It is an MCG game. Yeah, the Blues are playing at home. Fremantle, they could do it, but I'm going to trust Carlton. I'm going to put some trust in them. I usually don't, and for good reason this season, but they had a win last week against, I can't remember who. Who did they beat again last week? They managed to get a decent win against Adelaide last week. So, you know what? I'll put some faith in them. But Fremantle have really impressed this season. They're on the cusp of a top 8. So, let's see what they can do. Let's see what they can do at the MCG. But we go to Hawks versus Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium, right across from the MCG. We're going to say that Port Adelaide Power are going to take this one over the Hawks. I don't know why I had to think about that one. I kind of just blanked out. I realized who we're talking about. But the Hawks have been pretty impressive over the last few weeks. So, you know, a win against Sydney, a win against the Giants, I wouldn't say that's a bad couple of weeks so far. John Newcomb, I think Newcomb is their new kid who set a record for a debutant for tackles. So there's a lot to look forward to at the moment for the Hawks. I don't want them winning personally because that just puts them further away from North Melbourne. But I do think that Hawthorn may be able to put up a decent fight against Port Adelaide. But we now go to the Sunday games. The Sydney Swans versus the West Coast Eagles. If you were a fan of the AFL between 2005 and 2006, this matchup brings up memories. But we are going to say, because this is a Victorian game against two sides who are travelling out from their respective areas. I am going to say that Sydney takes this one. I think I'm going to predict an upset. That's the word. I'm going to predict an upset. Sydney are going to take this one against West Coast. And then we've got here Collingwood versus the Saints. My gut tells me the Saints. It really does, because that win against Richmond looked really impressive on paper. But now we're seeing Richmond lose to the Gold Coast Suns. I'm not sure how impressive that win really was. I think they just took advantage of a side that's really struggling right now. I want to also say that Collingwood doesn't have a chance. That's why I think I'm leaning more towards St Kilda. It's going to be a very good matchup, I think. I think it's a low ladder matchup, but it's an intriguing one to see who's really the fakers, I think. I think this is to see who the real fakers are. But then we go to this game. As much as I'd love to hype this up, this is a family matchup for me. So I have family that goes for North and family that goes for the Dogs. Right now, North are so far in the gutter compared to the Dogs that it almost hurts looking at this matchup. But I'm going to this game. I'm going to the Dogs versus North Melbourne game. It's going to be interesting. This is the first game I've been to in a really, really long time. I always love going to Marvel Stadium. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully North Melbourne can pull off a good win. But I think the chances are like really low. I think North Melbourne are like $11 to the Dogs $1.04. It's almost a guaranteed win for the Dogs according to the odds, but I'm going to agree with them. The Dogs are going to take this one over the Kangaroos. It's not affecting me, so if I really had the guts, I'd just say North Melbourne, screw it, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, everyone knows what happened earlier this year on the Good Friday game. North Melbourne really looking after the kids. Let's hope Josh Bruce doesn't kick 10 this time. But that is where I'm going to end it. Hopefully you guys found this enjoyable. Off to a decent start for the round. Let's hope it continues. I'm praying it does. I'm going to be watching the game tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend as well, full of games. If you're a Victorian citizen, you're going to be enjoying this weekend, knowing that a lot of the games are at the local, or in the city, and in Geelong. I think Geelong are playing, Geelong aren't playing Essendon. They're not playing them at GMHBA. That's a different side. But I am excited. I'm excited to watch some games. I'm going there in person. It feels so good. So I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. So here we are. This is what a lot of you guys have been waiting for. This is going to be put behind or after the preview for the round. However, these are the 3 packs for the shout out. I don't know who the shout out winner will be right off the start. So the shout out won't be in this video. However, in a future video, there will be a shout out. The camera's having a bit of a stress out, but I apologize for that. 3 packs. Let's see who the best player in these packs are. You got no time to waste. I'm recording this right after the pack opening that came out earlier today. So let's see whether our luck came for the shout out competition, all that stuff. I'm hoping that the luck was in there. Starting off well, Jack Siebel, North Melbourne. We love that. Wayne Malera in there as well. Isaac Rankin and a Glitz Oddbods Bradley Hill. Let's hope that this wasn't one that anybody guessed. I'm praying no one guessed that. As well as an upside down Nick Haynes. All my cards are upside down. All my gold cards are upside down for these packs. Don't know why, but that so far has been my best one. The Glitz Oddbods Bradley Hill. I hope none of you guessed that. If none of you guessed that, you guys have got no faith in me. You guys have got no faith. So let's go to this one. Come on. Second pack. Surely we do well for the followers of Instagram. This is for the followers of Instagram. This is for every single one of you. I'm hoping this goes well. Jack Viney to start. That's, I don't know whether it's a good start. Not as good as Jack Zabel. Tom Papley. Tom decoding in there as well as a Cardcraft Fremantle Dockers. A new best. Nat Fife number 2. That is our new best. Nat Fife number 2 Cardcraft. And then a future Josh Dacos Alright. Not bad. Nat Fife is our new best. Not too stressed with that. I'm hoping none of you guessed a vague one like Cardcraft. If any of you said Cardcraft, I'm going to be disappointed. You have to be specific. You got to be specific with this stuff. Otherwise, it just makes it stressful on me whether I give you the shout out or not. I don't know who I'm, being rude to and who I'm letting down. It's a whole mess, man. It's a whole mess. Anyways, next pack. Come on, give us something good. Nathan Wilson, Josh Kelly, Ben Keys, and a 3D icon, Sean Burgoyne, Jack Gunston duo, and an upside down Zach Williams. So, you guys know who the best card is now? You guys know who it is. Hopefully someone guessed it right. Cardcraft Nat Fife. I'll be lenient in that sense. If you guessed Cardcraft Nat Fife, congratulations, you get a shout out in the next video. If not, it's gonna have to wait. It's gonna have to wait, guys. But yeah. Okay, that's what you've seen. That's what we got. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the preview as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.